Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janava Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Guru. I don't think we met before. I'm Gauranga Prema, you are.
My Katmadas.
Where are you visiting from?
Los Angeles.
Okay, I thought it was. Well, welcome. Nice to have you here.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, so today we'll be reading from the glorious Father's Purana, the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, creation of the 4th order, and we'll be doing chapter 28, entitled Puranjana becomes a woman in the next life, and we'll be covering text 60. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devyam Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayam Udirayet
Jojayam Nadirayet
Nashta Preshwa Bhadrishu
Nasta Pleshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttam Shloke
Bhagavate Uttam Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Natvam Vidarbha Duhita
Natvam Vaidarbha Duhita
Nayam Vira Suhritava
Nayam Vira Suritava
Napatistam Puranjanya
Napatistam Puranjanya
Rudho Nava Mukhe Yaya
Rudo Navamukeyaya
Natvam Vidarbha Duhita
Natvam Vaidarbha Duhita
Nayam Vira Suhritava
Nayam Vira Suritava
Napatistam Puranjanya
Napatistam Puranjanya
Rudho Nava Mukhe Yaya
Rudo Navamukeyaya
Natvam Vidarbha Duhita
Natvam Vidarbha Duhita
Nayam Vira Suhritava
Nayam Vira Suritava
Napatistam Puranjanya
Napatistam Puranjanya
Rudho Nava Mukhe Yaya
Rudo Navamukeyaya
Bolo
Natvam Vidarbha Duhita Nayam Vira Suritava Napatistam Puranjanya Rudo Navamukeyaya Natvam Vidarbha Duhita Nayam Vira Suritava Napatistam Puranjanya Rudo Navamukeyaya Natvam Vidarbha Duhita Nayam Vira Suritava Napatistam Puranjanya Rudo Navamukeyaya Natvam Vidarbha Duhita Nayam Vira Suritava Napatistam Puranjanya Rudo Navamukeyaya Natvam Vidarbha Duhita Nayam Vira Suritava Napatistam Puranjanya Rudo Navamukeyaya
That's everyone. What is it? Na Tvam You Vidarbha Duhita
Vidarbha Duhita
daughter of Vidarbha
daughter of Vidarbha.
Na,
Na,
na.
na,
Ayam,
ayam,
this.
this.
Viraha,
Viraha,
hero.
hero.
Suhrit,
Surit,
well-wishing husband.
well-wishing husband.
Tava,
Tava,
your.
your.
Na,
Na,
not.
not.
Patihi,
Pati,
husband.
husband.
Tvam,
Tvam,
you.
you.
Pranjanya,
Paranjanya,
of Paranjani.
Paranjani.
Rudaha,
Rudaha,
captured.
captured.
Navamukhe,
Navamuke,
in the body, having 9 gates.
in the body having 9 gates.
Yaya,
Yaya,
by the material energy.
by the material energy.
Translation, purport by His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Actually, you are not the daughter of Vidarbha, nor is this man Malaya Dwaja, your well-wishing husband, nor were you the actual husband of Puranjani. You were simply captivated in this body of 9 gates. Please repeat after me. Actually, you're not the daughter of Vidarbha,
you are not the daughter of Vidarbha,
nor is this man
nor is this man,
Malaya Dwaja,
Malaya Dwaja,
your well-wishing husband.
your well-wishing husband,
Nor were you the actual husband of Puranjani.
nor were you the actual husband of Paranjani.
You were simply
You were simply
captivated in this body of 9 gates.
captivated in this body of 9 gates.
Purport. In this material world, many living entities come into contact with one another and, increasing their attachment to a particular type of body, become related as father, husband, mother, wife, etc. Actually, every living entity is a separate individual being. And it is because of his contact with matter that he comes together with other bodies and becomes falsely related. False bodies create various associations in the name of family, community, society, and nationality. Actually, every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the living entities are overly engrossed in the material body. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, appears and gives instructions in the form of Bhagavad Gita and Vedic literatures. The Supreme Lord gives these instructions because He is the eternal friend of the living entities. His instructions are important because by them the living entity can obtain liberation from bodily engagement. As water passes down a river, many straws and grasses are carried from the shore. These straws and grasses come together in the river's current, but when the waves toss this way and that, they are separated and carried somewhere else. Similarly, the innumerable living entities within this material world are being carried by the waves of material nature. Sometimes the waves bring them together, and they form friendships and relate to one another on a bodily basis of family, community, or nationality. Eventually, they are thrown out of association by the waves of material nature. This process has been going on since the creation of material nature. In this regard, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Miche Mayar Vashe Yacha Vesha Hacha Habu Dubu Bhai Jeev Krishna Das E Vaishnas Vishwas Koleta Ar Dukhanai. My dear living entities, you are being carried away by the waves of material nature. Sometimes you are on the surface, sometimes you are being drowned. In this way, your eternal life is being spoiled. If you simply catch hold of Krishna and take shelter of His lotus feet, you will once again get free from all the miserable material conditions. In this verse, the words Suhit, well-wisher, and Tava, your, are very significant. One's so-called husband, relative, son, father, or whatever cannot actually be a well-wisher. The only actual well-wisher is Krishna himself, as Krishna confirms in Bhagavad Gita 5:29, Surhidam Sarva Bhutanam. Society, friends, love, and well-wishers are all simply results of being packed in different bodies. One should know this well and try to get out of this bodily encagement into which one is thrown birth after birth. One should take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and return home, back to Godhead. Om Agyanathamarannasya Gunanjana Shalakaya Chakshu Amridam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhisham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagada Mayam Dhanati Swabharantikam Hare Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinarbandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopaka Kanta Radha Namostate Tata Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishamano Sutradevi Pranamami Hare Pre Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubi Evacha Patitana Bhavnevyo Vaishnavi Namo Namah Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunvari Pashatire Shatarne Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, recap on today's verse. Actually, you are not the daughter of Vikarabha, nor is this man Malayadhwaja, your well-wishing husband, nor were you the actual husband of Puranjan. You were simply captivated in this body of 9 gates. So we see within this verse that a big stress is this idea of identification with our body and those things related to the body. So oftentimes we'll gain attachment to our particular body and take even pride within it. You know, some people are like, I'm American, soy español, ni más igual, más नेपाली हूँ, मैं भारतीय हूँ. But dogs are similar, thinking, I am dog, and they're barking saying, I am dog. So we come up with all these things related to this body, the culture, the nationality, birthplace, so forth, finding it so special. Even though it just so happened that you took birth in this particular body due to your past karma. And from that, we also end up getting different roles. You know, one may be as Prabhupada mentions, one may be a father, a husband, mother, a wife, etc. Not that having a role is bad, but identifying deeply with that role is the problem. One could be a mother, one could be a father, one could be a husband, all that, but it's in relation to Krishna service. If I identify my whole identity as such things, this is where the problem becomes, because we're still identifying with this body and the products of this body. So we're all identifying with our body and adding so many identities to it. Maybe it's not even just physically like that. Maybe I'm identifying that I'm a football fan, I'm a metalhead, I'm a Christian, a Muslim, a Hindu, and so forth, creating further entanglements in this misidentification. There's so many identities that we could come up with. And oftentimes during about middle school, high school area is where people are having this time of trying to figure out, who am I? They question, well, am I part of this group? Should I be part of this group? And they come up with all these different things because they don't quite know who they are. So they start trying to figure that out, and they further entangle themselves with the idea that, oh, because I like this music, I should hang out with these people, or so forth and so forth. But we're actually none of those things. We're the soul within the body, and as a soul, that means that we're part and parcel, loving, eternal servants of the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna. So anything other than that, we can understand not to be ourselves. It may relatively be true. I may be within, for me, within a body that was born in Arizona as a male, born as such and such, this race, that race, whatever. But that's only relatively true. It's true for that time being, but once I leave this body, I'm no longer that. I may be a dog in my next birth. I may be a lion. I may be a demigod. I could be any of these other things. So this is constantly changing. Even within this life, we constantly change our roles or our identification. At one point, I may be working as a cashier at this restaurant. At another point, I may decide to go back to college so I can become a lawyer. Or so many other things. Well, this is all due to misidentification with the body. And it reminded me, thinking of this one video that I had watched before, and it was like a little experiment to test the mind. And so they would get people, and they would put their arm to the side, and they'd block it out of vision. They put a little board there. And then they get a fake hand, and they put it right there, and they put almost like a shirt on you to make it look like it's your hand. So they start getting feathers on both of them. One where you see them with the feather, with the fake hand, and then with the other one with your real hand, so that you feel the feather. And then they start, maybe a little bit of liquid to both of them. And then out of nowhere, they get a hammer and they smash the fake hand. And most of the people, they freak out with it because they start identifying with that fake hand. So similarly, we're identifying with this fake body. We're identifying that I am this body. And we could easily prove that I'm not this body. Because if you're this body, that means that even if I were to chop off your arm or your finger, if I went to that chopped off arm or finger and I touched it, you should be able to feel it. But because you cannot feel it, that is not you. That is a product by this body of what you're inhabiting. Just like if I take off a wheel off your vehicle, it's not you. It's not that you're incomplete. You're still a full human, but the car is incomplete. So similarly, so would be your body. So we're not this body. We've passed through this body, from boyhood, youth, old age. Same body. That's not one. That's it. Same individual, different body. Even scientifically, we hear that after so many years, I think generally they estimate from around 7 to 10 years, just about all your cells within your body are completely different than they were 7 to 10 years ago. So we can even see within this body, we're taking on new bodies. You had a child body, but where's that body at now? You're no longer 3 feet tall. At least none of you in here are 3 feet tall. We no longer have any of those same things, same qualities. Our hands are bigger, our head is bigger, so many things. And so, with this identification with the body, we come together based on our relationships to this body. So I relate with you because you're my kid, or you're my uncle, or you're my cousin. I relate with you because you're from the same race or ethnicity as me. Oh, you're Mexican too? Cool, we're homies then. We might have nothing else in common, but because we're Mexican, oh cool. Or because I'm American, because I'm Nepali, because I'm Indian. We relate together. But it's still based on bodily connection. So, because of this being based on bodies, as was explained in the song and purport, both by Prabhupada and by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we come together because of these things, but then ultimately we'll be thrown out of association by the ways of material nature. At some point, one way or another, we'll be thrown away from those associations. So it may be due to some conflict, or ultimately it will be due to death. And you may identify as this now, but in your next body, it's not guaranteed that you'll have the same exact conditions or identifications. So we're drowning in this ocean of material nations due to our identification with the body. And there's a song I like, Vasky sings this one, really nice. It's called Duker Shagure. And within that, it is said that I'm swimming in the ocean of material suffering. I do not know any way to be lifted out. Oh Lord, please rescue me from the raging storm that is rapidly approaching with torrents of rain. When it reaches me, I do not know what will happen. You, O Lord, are the Supreme Person of Godhead, who is merciful to the poor fallen souls. Please save me from the terrible storm that menaces before me. If you do not deliver me, O Lord, then I do not even hope to be saved. That's deep. We're constantly we have constantly been tossed in this ocean of birth, death, old age, disease, life after life, since time immemorial. We can't even remember how we got here, when we got here. I can't remember all these things. And we've been here for billions and trillions of births due to it, suffering all kinds of different conditions, some that you can never even imagine within this body. And the author of this song, who is unknown, he makes it a point that Krishna is the only one that can save you from this condition. Because you're in this material world because you're not acting as the spirit soul. What does the spirit soul act like? He acts as a loving servant of God. But when we become a loving servant of our senses, we remain stuck here. And we remain getting a body to be able to be a servant of those senses. So because we remain that servant, we keep taking on a body after body after body to enjoy it in whatever ways we desire, and Krishna's fulfilling that. But the only way out of this is to become back in our position as the loving servant of Krishna. Just like if I take a fish out of water, it needs air. It needs water. It doesn't need the air. It'll suffer within the air because it's out of its element. Just like if I take a human and I put him in the sea without any way of being able to save himself, he's going to drown. He can't breathe water. So you have to be in your element. So as a soul, our element's in the spiritual world. But because we're out of that, we're out of the water, we're suffering. And we won't be satisfied until we're back in that position of being a servant, a loving servant. And so Krishna, he gives us this opportunity. And Bhagavad Gita 4:8, Krishna says to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to reestablish principles of religion. I myself appear millennium after millennium. Dharma samsthapanarthaya, to establish the principles of religion, reestablish. It's like Prabhupada was mentioning here that The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, appears and gives instructions in the form of Bhagavad Gita and Vedic literatures. The Supreme Lord gives these instructions because He is the eternal friend of living entities. So if He didn't come and do these things, we wouldn't know that we were even trapped here. We wouldn't know. We'd be like most people within this world that think that this is the end-all be-all, so I may as well make the most of it by enjoying to the max, or that may even come at the cost of other entities. Because if there's no God and there's no rules and all that, then I have no consequences. I can do whatever I want for my own satisfaction. But Krishna is so merciful that either He will come down or He'll send a bona fide representative to come down and teach these principles of religion. And He does this over and over and over. And if you read the Bhagavatam, you hear about several of these different incarnations that come for different purposes, to teach different things at that time and place. But it's all teaching that essential thing that you're not from this material world. You have a relationship with God, and you should not be here. Quit being a Godas and be a Goswami. Don't be a servant of your senses. Be beyond the senses and serve God. So, we may not know, we may suffer not knowing, but there's other people that they suffer, they know it, but they don't do anything about it. But a smart, intelligent person is they suffer, they know it, and it takes proper action to quit the suffering. So if they're in complete ignorance, of course they're not going to understand that they're suffering. You know, just like a camel eats thorns, thinking this is so tasty, but really they're tasting their own blood. They're not thinking so much of, oh, you know, it's poking my mouth, this, that. So there's people that are at that ignorance. But there's also people that they know that they're suffering, but they're not going to do anything about it. Yeah, I know my life's kind of bad and all, but I don't got time to read what God put. I don't got time for that. I got other responsibilities. You know, I got a family, I got a job, I got this, I got that. I don't got time for that. So they know that they're suffering, but they allow themselves to suffer. They allow themselves to be within that position. But if you're a smart person, you'll take up the opportunity that Krishna gives you. He gives you the opportunity. Here's this book, here's my devotees, here's this, here's that. Come back, quit your suffering. So if you're smart, you'll take up to that. You'll take the opportunity and you won't waste the opportunity. Krishna gives us the solution, but we must take it. We're drowning in this ocean of material existence, and Krishna throws us a life ring at us, and you have to be the one to grab it. You have to be the one to actually go to get it. Just like even in the material sense, someone may be in a lower state, maybe, you know, they're unemployed, or they're suffering mentally about something. There could be so many examples, and there could be someone with the solution. They could do everything. They could give you everything. They could tell you the right things. But if you're not the one that wants to put in the work, you're not the one that wants to take it up, then even though they got all the answers, they got all the solutions, it's going to be of ultimately no use, because you're not going to do anything with it. I can make you all the food and all that, but if you're not eating it, you're still going to be hungry. So, Krishna gives us examples of how we can come out of this. Within the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says this famous line, Daivi Heshavana Mai Mama Maya Durataya Mameva Ye Praparyate Mayamitan Parantite. That this divine energy of mine, consisting of three modes of material nature, is very difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So, we're talking about this theme of drowning in the ocean of material nature, identifying with the body, and this, that. We have these three modes that are mentioned: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So those who are not on a Krishna conscious platform, they're being controlled like a puppet by these three modes of goodness, passion, ignorance. Sometimes you're in a good state, you're doing the proper thing, maybe you're meditating, you're eating healthy, working out, this, that, you have good relations. Other time, you're really passionate, I gotta go to work, make this money, make this bread. That person angered me on the road, I got speed of work. Other times you may be in ignorance, I don't really want to do anything, I think I'm gonna stay home and throw back some cold ones and watch a football game, whatever. Constantly, we're being controlled by these modes. If you allow it to control you, they will drag you and make you do things that you couldn't even imagine doing. Just like one of the mode of passion, and the mode of goodness, if I like a spoon and give it to you, generally you wouldn't want to take my spoon because I licked it. But in the mode of passion, maybe you got like a specific partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. That no longer is a consideration. Yeah. Copyrighted by Gauranga Das. He used to tell me this when I first started comedy. That mode of passion, you won't even consider that that's gross, that's someone else's saliva or anything. But in a different mode, you'll think, no, I'm good, that's gross. I don't want to share your saliva. So, Krishna is telling us that if we surrender unto Him, we can easily cross beyond all these things. If you're Krishna conscious, if you're Krishna conscious, you got light in your mind. Krishna's a light. But as soon as you turn away from that light, you got darkness. And you can't see within the darkness. If I put you in a room full of nails and broken glass and all that, and I turn the lights off, and you try walking towards the exit, then you're going to be stepping on all these things because you can't see. But if I turn the light on, which could be compared to Krishna consciousness, ISKCON, as Amarinja Prabhu says, is your Krishna conscious on? So is it on? Are you able to see what's in front of you? Or are you going to be stepping on these nails, broken glass, and so forth? If we surrender unto Krishna, He'll give us the intelligence. And if we take up the opportunities given us, we'll cross beyond this ocean of material suffering. So 5,000 years ago, Krishna came and spoke the Bhagavad Gita. And around that same time, his other incarnation as a Vyasadeva, he wrote down the Vedic literatures. He wrote down the Bhagavad Gita, he wrote down the 4 Vedas, he wrote down this book we're reading today, the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we've been gifted this literature by Krishna's mercy. But even then, not everyone understood or took it up. Not everyone took these opportunities of Krishna coming down in person, or the fact that we have these literatures. Not everyone is taking that up. So you also had people that took it up, but they converted it and distorted it to whatever they wanted to. They said, oh, Krishna says surrender unto me, but really what he means is surrender unto the unknown, eternal within him, or so many different things like that. So Krishna came down again 500 years ago as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This time in the guise of a devotee. It was oftentimes considered a hidden incarnation. And he came to teach others how to be a devotee. He came to show the example. Because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that those who show that example, everyone will follow them. Everyone will follow that example. So he came here in the guise of devotee, following the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, preaching that, and especially spreading the holy names of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So he's coming to give the highest thing to the lowest of people. None of us deserve to have this in the ultimate sense. A lot of times, if you want to do deity worship, you gotta be a Brahmin. You gotta be initiated, you gotta be following all these rules, all these regulations, so that you can do deity worship. If you want to do so many different things like that, you have to be at a certain qualification. But Lord Chaitanya is giving the holy name to everyone, not even considering, are you a Brahmin, are you a Shudra, are you an outcast, are you a Vanasankara, are you any? He's not considering these things. He's saying, here, take the holy name. Take it. Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vrajantu. Surrender unto me. Lord Chaitanya is not even saying surrender unto me. He's saying, take this name, chant this name. To anyone, practically begging you chant this name. Because by chanting this name, you're associating with Krishna himself. Because Krishna is not different than his name. And through that, you get a purification of the heart. Krishna purifies us from within. So all of a sudden you see these bad qualities start fading away. You see that your spiritual life starts progressing. You feel more connected with Krishna himself. So many things come from chanting this holy name. And to even reaching down further than that, you got Lord Nityananda, who's not even considering anyone or anything. He's so drunk off of the love of God that he's saying, here, take this, please, please. Anyone and everyone. Even to people like Jagai and Madhai. We hear Jagai and Madhai. They were one of the most sinful people you ever heard of. They were killers, they were rapists, they were drunkards. They did so many horrible things. Not to mention, so Lord Nityananda, he decides that he's going to go preach them, try to get them to chant. And Madhai chucks a broken pot at his head, and he starts bleeding. And Mahaprabhu, he comes and he's about to kill him. He's angry at him, he pulls up his Sudarshan, he's about to kill him. But Nityananda is so merciful, even though he had a jar thrown at his head. He says, please forgive him. Please. If you're going to kill him, then you practically got to kill everyone else here in the world. Because everyone else here in the world is practically a Jagai Madhai. So you have to kill all these people. So he said, you're not here for that purpose. You came to be the merciful. So it was by Nityananda's mercy that Madhai got Mahaprabhu's mercy. And he begged him. So Lord Nityananda is so merciful. And there's this beautiful song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of my favorites, called Narya Godrume Nityananda Mahajan. So in there, he writes down that in the land of Narya, on the island of Godruma, the magnanimous Lord Nityananda has opened up the marketplace of the holy name, meant for deliverance of all fallen souls. O people of faith, by the order of Lord Gauranga, O brothers, I beg these three requests from you. Does anybody know these three requests? Yes. Bolo Krishna, Hajo Krishna, Goro Krishna, Shiksha. Chant Krishna, worship Krishna, and teach others about Krishna. Being careful to remain free of offenses, just take the holy name of Lord Krishna. Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your father, and Krishna is the treasure of your life. Giving up all sinful activities, carry on your worldly duties, only in relation to Lord Krishna. The showing of compassion to other souls by loudly chanting the holy names of Krishna is the essence of all forms of religion. So, Lord Nityananda, he's asking you, please chant the names of Krishna, spread this knowledge of Krishna, let other people worship Krishna. Don't waste this life. Just chant it and give it to others. Because Krishna is your father, Krishna is your mother. He's your truest relation. Because your mother, your father, your friends, your family, all that, they'll leave or you'll have problems. They'll leave by death or they'll leave by conflict. So you've had so many mothers, you've had so many friends, so many brothers, so many cousins, and so many births. But now you don't know them because they were taken away from you. Now you have this set and they'll be taken away from you too. But Krishna is the one that stays the same within all your births, all your deaths. He's always there, never leaving you. So, to take it even further, in the same mood of Nityananda, Prabhupada came to extend the mercy even further. You know, all this was pretty much kept in like India, about within Bengali, within Hindi, within Sanskrit, all these different languages from around there. But Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he had this idea of preaching in English and spreading it. His son, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, had this idea of preach to the West, and Srila Prabhupada took it and ran with it and came to the West. He came to New York and spread Krishna consciousness throughout New York and went through several different countries preaching English. He gave us the Srimad Bhagavatam in English, and from all his translations, now we have it in so many different languages: Spanish, Ethiopian, so many different languages now. All because he came to spread it even further. Now everyone has it. Now Christian consciousness, ISKCON, is in just about every country in the world. Just about every single one, by his mercy, and those carrying on that mercy of Prabhupada. So by Prabhupada's mercy, we get Nityanandas, and by Nityanandas, we get Mahaprabhus, by Mahaprabhus, we get Shri Radha and Krishna's mercy. So, we have so much mercy coming to us, a whole shower full of mercy, to get out of this false identification of life and reestablish our lost, loving relationship with God, with Krishna. So if we take it up seriously, we read these books Prabhupada has gifted us, that Krishna has made sure that was written down and spoken, that so many people have came to teach about, in that line, we could escape this material suffering and reestablish that last relationship and be happy. Right now, in this material world, we're not happy. We're facing birth, death, old age, disease. We're facing conflicts with the mind and body, those from others, or natural disasters. So many conflicts constantly. The world, this material world is suffering. It has its little short, brief moments of happiness, but there's a lot of suffering involved with this. But you take these books, you take that mercy, you chant these names, you can reestablish your lost relationship and be happy. Anyways, I think we'll end there and open up for any questions or comments.
Yeah, nice class. I'm sorry, this thing failed. I failed on my job for.
You're good.
But so people are still watching, so I think we're almost there. But I was going to say that this line, the purport, Prabhupada says that society, friendship, and love and well-wishers are all simply results of being packed in different bodies. One should know this well and try to get out of the bodily engagement and do what is thrown birth after birth. And I was thinking about Queen Kunti. She prays that, please sever my ties with the Vrishni and Bhoja dynasties and all my kinsmen. And then Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur comments that actually she wasn't praying to become separated from the Pandavas, her sons, or her devotee family, Vasudeva and so forth. She was just praying to be separated from those who are non-devotees. Rather, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says it's an offense to want to be separated from the devotees. So, I was wondering if you could speak a little bit about the sense that we society, friendship, and love, but then Krishna conscious society, friendship, and love are different things. And so, I was wondering if you could speak about that.
I'll speak to Mike's knowledge on it. I won't speak to Mike. No, that's a really good point. Material relationships, they'll bind us. We'll relate to this body, we'll be attached to this body, and we'll be distracted from our ultimate goal. But Krishna conscious relationships are different. You know, Krishna consciousness relationships are based around Krishna, centered around Krishna. So we speak about Krishna, we do service together, we do things together in relation to Krishna. So if you look at a friendship between a materialist, you know, they're talking about all kinds of nonsense things. Maybe it's about their job, maybe it's about their relationship, maybe it's about their family problems, maybe it's about a video game, or so many different things, cars, whatever it may be, whatever that relationship is centered around. But then you look at a Krishna conscious friendship, and it's full of encouragement. Let's go chant together, you know, let's go distribute books together, let's go do this, let's go do that, let's speak Krishna Katha, let's read together. It keeps you focused on Krishna, which is being Krishna conscious. It's uplifting you. Whereas a material relationship, you're no longer thinking of Krishna, you're thinking about all these nonsensical, unimportant things that only are relevant for this life, that moment, or whatever. So you get distracted by that, relate with that, and you get degraded. But whether it's family relationship, whether it's love, whether it's friendship, whatever the case may be, if it's Krishna conscious, it's an elevation. It's allowing you to the main two important things to remember is to accept what's favorable and reject what's unfavorable. So, un-Krishna conscious relationships are generally unfavorable. You know, obviously you had to have them to some extent. If I'm gonna go work in the world, I had to have some type of relationship with my boss. Doesn't mean I have to be close with him, but I had to still act as his employee and be respectful and so forth. So you accept what's favorable and you reject what's unfavorable. So accepting Krishna conscious relationships, rejecting those who are non-devotees, doesn't mean that we hate them. We try and give our mercy to them, but we generally try to avoid their association as keep our Krishna consciousness. Nothing against them. Alright, anyone else? Sareshwara.
Another aspect is that even in a bodily relationship like with parents, because we didn't have the database back in 1970 or whatever, we didn't know how to relate to our parents. And so, but Jayananda Prabhu, the first president of LA, actually the second, he tells us that he and Radharani asked how do we relate to our parents. So Prabhupada would say, well, you should, if they want you to visit them, you should do that. They're your parents. You should honor your father and mother, like that. And if they ask you to do something that's really against Krishna consciousness, you can just say yes, 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 but then don't do it. In other words, keep the peace. I know in my case, when I joined for the first 8 years, my father wouldn't speak to me because I had become a Hare Krishna. But it wasn't his fault, it was half my fault, because as soon as I joined, I was telling him things like, we're not our buddy, and you're not really my father, and Krishna's the only father. And so, yeah, we have to become expert at Prabhupada, let's say, knowing how to deal with even bodily relations so that they become favorable. And actually, it did happen with my father later when I did the first normal thing in his eyes that I ever, as a devotee, I got married. So he thought I was, oh, okay, he's normal, he's not brainwashed like I thought. And then when we had a child, that was the clincher. And he got a subscription to Bank of Godhead, and he loved prasadam. And so, yeah, it's an art to even keeping our bodily relations.
I think that's cool. Really good point. Yeah, when I first started, I didn't read up on all that kind of stuff, so I was kind of like that fanatical guy. I kind of like stayed in my room and just like read and chanted the whole time, talked to my deities, worshiped my deities. Kind of avoiding them. But until like I moved here, that I became a lot more personable and knew how to go about it. But definitely think it's important that we know how to leave a good impression. They might not like us and all that, but if we leave a good impression of what a Krishna conscious person should be like, being respectful even to our material relatives or whoever it may be, that shows an impact, and that appreciation of a devotee goes really far for them. So it benefits them just being able to appreciate you. They might not want to be around you, but they can appreciate that, you're respectful, you're soft-spoken, you dedicated to what you do, and you're happy. That goes a long way for them too. It could even inspire them. Anyways, I think we'll end here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.